Family has lived for wrestling, and we've died for wrestling. I don't know what else there's left for me to do anymore in wrestling. Maybe it's time for me to move on and try to accomplish something else in another field or do something else. I think of Wayne Gretzky, and I think of Elway, and I think of all these guys that are retiring in 1999. And when I think of those people, they all, when they got to hang it up, they were all so happy. And I look at myself, and it sucks. I tell myself on one hand that it's not fair for me to end my career on a tragedy.
Guerrero's got a big problem. Someone stole his wallet. Eddie has to talk without no good Doug Dillinger to get justice, and Guerrero says he knows the culprit was someone wearing a mask. Eddie says he could pick out the culprit from a lineup, so Doug says he'll round everyone up in WCW who wears a mask, and Eddie can point out the criminal. We'll come back to this later on. Next on Nitro, Jerry Flynn takes on Ernest Miller in a kickboxing match. On Raw, the Hardys get a shot at the Acolytes Tag Team Championships. Kane Tombstone Bradshaw on the ring steps last night on Heat, and doctors try to tell Bradshaw he's not clear to compete tonight. So Bradshaw smacks the poor guy before he and Farouk make their way down to the ring. The Hardys dive over the top rope before the bell rings, and we've got a brawl to kick off this tag team title match. Farouk and Matt start working in the ring while Bradshaw wrecks Jeff on the outside. Matt's able to pull off a neckbreaker before both he and Jeff head up to the top, and we've got some tandem aerial attacks to excite the crowd. Farouk fires back with a spine buster and a power slam, put off with some GTV footage featuring Draws and Prince Albert. These two have to become the Godfather's hoes tonight after losing a match on Sunday Night Heat, and Albert's disgusted that his partner actually likes shaving his legs and wearing women's clothing. The Godfather's in action next against Gangrel, so this story will progress in just a moment. Over on Nitro, we've got a worked kickboxing match because that's what everyone wants to see in a pro wrestling show, right? These two do have backgrounds in martial arts, but I'd seriously rather watch a brawl for all match than this nonsense right here. The crowd boos loudly during round 1. At the beginning of round 2, the cat gets a warning for an illegal kick. The crowd then boo even louder as this round progresses, and even Miller's spinning back fist wasn't enough to win the crowd over. They absolutely hated this match, and I don't blame them either. Flynn gets put on the mat again twice after taking kicks in the midsection, and Miller gets disqualified after punching Flynn while Big Butthead was down on one knee. Jerry attacks Miller. After on Raw, it's Gangrel versus the Godfather plus Tess versus Joey Abs. On Nitro, Lodi takes on Van Hammer. Val Venus and Godfather welcome Draws and Prince Albert to the ring, and yeah, looking great lads. Gangrel sees enough and he goes to work on Godfather with a few punches followed by a spinning wheel kick. The Godfather replies with a few clotheslines. The match then ends very abruptly when Gangrel misses an elbow drop and Godfather scores a pinfall win following a leg drop. And after the bell, Draws and Albert attack Venus while Gangrel plants Godfather with an impaler DDT. Gangrel then goes out to attack Val Venus, but he's stopped by Edge and Christian. It looks like these lads just want to pull Gangrel away and they don't really care about Venus. But Gangrel doesn't look too happy with his brood teammates as the faction breakup continues on Raw. Tess then wrestled Joey Abs, and before the match, Stephanie wanted to make sure that Tess was going to be okay. Tess was like, "Don't sweat it, babe, I got this." And Tess lived up to his word by attacking Joey on the entranceway before hitting a big boot inside the ropes. Tess then pulls off a gut wrench, freaking out because her car got vandalized. We can see DX graffiti all over the vehicle, and China says this was the work of X-Pac and Road Dogg. Looks like the boys in blue have their hands full tonight on Raw, and again, we'll come back to this in just a moment. On Nitro, we've got Van Hammer versus Lodi, and because Hammer's getting a title shot at Bash at the Beach, there's no way he's going to lose this one. He's also taken on Lodi, who hasn't won a match on Nitro ever, so that pretty much seals it. After taking a beating in the ring, Lodi got a drink at the commentary table, but this didn't help too much. Lenny Lane gave Lodi an assist on the outside, and that didn't help either. His best opportunity to win this match came when he pulled off a Hurricane Rana, but as predicted, Hammer won with a superplex and the Cobra Clutch Slam. I'll tell you what's going to happen, okay? Okay? Hammer will face Steiner at Bash at the Beach. He's going to take a loss, and then he'll go on another losing streak on Nitro because all we're seeing here is another half-assed attempt by WCW to get a lower mid-card guy over. It never ever works, and the results are always the luchadors. One of these guys stole Eddie's wallet, and we really need to get to the bottom of this. The luchadors don't want to comply, but they have no choice, so they all get brought to another room where Eddie's going to pick out the culprit. On Raw next, it's a hardcore title match, Al Snow versus D'Lo Brown. On Nitro, Roddy Piper cuts a promo. D'Lo talks smack about Al before the match, and he doesn't notice the champ getting in the ring. D'Lo takes a few shots with the bacon tray before the two head into the audience, and the men end up fighting beside a small concession stand where they end up pouring Dad Coke over each other. Dad Coke can apparently blind you guys, so be careful out there. The two then go to an elevator where D'Lo takes control. Snow goes for a little slide, and the men end up on the ground floor again, and D'Lo gets a few potted plants thrown at him. When the two end up at the payphones, D'Lo gets in the expected but still funny "you should have used 1-800 collect line," while also saying Snow's going to reach out and touch somebody. We then end up in the catering area where D'Lo gets choked out with a chain